When I was doing parties as events, ignoring the obvious vodka, gin and rum, the next most popular kind of liqueur or spirit that I had to stock was an Amaretto. Now for the uninitiated, Amaretto is essentially an almond flavour liqueur from Italy. However, we say almond flavour, not all Amarettos come from almonds. In fact, peach stones and apricot kernels are also used as well. But during extraction and production, those flavours do taste like almonds. Now the obvious brand that you've probably heard of, it's stocked by most pubs and bars up and down the UK, is Disaronno. It's the big famous Amaretto brand in the world. There are other brands, obviously some cheaper, some more expensive. Other brands like Luxardo, they are a great brand too, but it will be Disaronno that most people have heard of, and actually most people will call for it by name as well. However, do you know what? While the quality is not that great, I tell you, for £8 from Tesco's, this is an absolute bargain. So going back to my quest to helping you guys put on party cocktails on a budget, I took my £25 pocket money that Laura and Izzy give me every week. I took it to my local supermarket. But this week, I only spent £15.82. I kept £10 from my change and went to spend it on some sweets. Because as I said, for £8, this is an absolute bargain. So what did I buy for £15.82? Well, there's a reason I didn't spend that much, and I'll go through because there are some other ingredients that I'm going to use as well. But essentially, I've got my Amaretto. I picked up some ginger beer, some own brand ginger beer. Again, I think this was 50p. A couple of nets of limes, a net of lemons. I've got a little punnet of raspberries, a couple of packs of mints, and I've got some passion fruits. Now, the other ingredients that I did want for this as well, and I didn't bother buying because if you've been watching these videos, you'll know I've got some of this. So, I want basically some honey syrup or some sugar syrup. I've already got a bag of sugar here, so even if I bought those, I still would have only spent like £17. So I'm going to be using that. Another mixer that I'm going to use is what I had last week at Rubicon. This is about £1.20, something like that. I forget how much it was. But again, we're only basically going up to just over £18 if I bought that. And the other thing I didn't buy is some egg whites because obviously we're going to be doing some Amaretto Sours. That would be the obvious one, wouldn't it? And of course, I don't use egg whites. But even if you did buy a box of eggs, like 6 eggs or something like that for the egg whites, you are still probably coming under £20. I've got my Stilla Bunt Magic Foamers. That's my egg white replacement. There was no point in me buying eggs at all. But even then, I've got 3 banging cocktails coming up for you for way less than 20 quid. So I've got my honey syrup made up. I have got a bit of sugar syrup here as well. So for the first cocktail, I'm going to show you how to make an Amaretto Sour. So this gets made in a cocktail shaker. Obviously gets shaken down. We're going to serve it in a little rocks glass. We are going for our Amaretto, and I'm going for a 50ml double bubble of this, and this is like a decent strength one. It's 28% ABV. As I say, it is quite cheap, but it's simply because it's a 50cl bottle and not a 70cl bottle. So you know you are sacrificing a little bit, but it's £8. So a double bubble of your Amaretto. And then we are going for the juice of 1 whole lemon. I'll tell you what, I will actually measure it just to see how much we're going to get out of it. We want about 25ml. So let's just see. Let's get half a lemon there. And I'll tell you what, actually, that is really, really close to 30ml. 20. Just looking at my little limes. So half a lemon. There we go. Half a lemon. And this will be 30ml, but I want 25ml essentially. But that'll be fine because the Amaretto is a little bit sweeter, so a bit sweeter than your whiskies and that if you're doing a whiskey sour. So the sort of citrus will kind of dial that back because syrup-wise, sugar syrup-wise, I'm only going to be using 10ml. You don't need that much at all. So just 10ml of sugar syrup. Now, if you're going to be using egg whites, then you kind of just want to separate your yolk from your egg white, and you want, like medium-sized eggs, you want about 1 egg white. If you're using very large eggs, that will probably do you 2 cocktails. So it depends on the size of the eggs. But these guys, I've got these. We just need 8 drops of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the other ingredient I am going to use, purely because I'm going to drink it, but we didn't get it in the haul. You could have done. It's about, you know, it's going to cost you about a tenner. It's a bottle that I think you should have in your home bars. It'll cost you a tenner. It'll last you ages, but Angostura bitters, it just gives you kind of depth of flavour. So we just go 2 dashes there. But as I said, it's not, you won't be able to afford it in your haul, so don't worry about it there. Now this is something we have to do for the egg white as well. We have to emulsify the egg white. and I do the same for those for the miraculous sort of foamers there, the magic foamers. Wrong brand. So we're going to do a dry shake for about 5-6 seconds. Egg white's probably a bit longer. Emulsify that egg white and get it all kind of nice and frothy. And when that's all frothy, you'll see that, look at that. That's all nice and frothy. We're now just, the smell. We're now just going to shake this and chill it down properly. So excuse the hands, plenty of ice in your cocktail shaker. And then a hard, fast shake, 10 to 12 seconds. When that's all properly nice and chilled, then just simple. You can strain it over fresh ice. Of course you can. I'm just going to do a whole shake and dump. Look at the froth on that. And then garnish-wise, we traditionally do an orange on there, but whatever you fancy, a lime wheel, a lime wedge, orange, sprig of mint, whatever you kind of fancy. But that's your Amaretto Sour. What's it taste like? I tell you, you don't sacrifice anything for the cheaper Amaretto. It is still an almond-forward, gorgeous kind of Amaretto Sour. You do have to dial back the sweetness a little bit. Some of you might not even want the 10 ml of sugar syrup. That might be sweet enough. But that is proper gorgeous, luxurious, velvety smooth. I love Amaretto Sours. Now for your second cocktail, I'm going to show you what I've called a Nutty Berry Mule. Essentially almond, raspberry, ginger. It's going to be delicious. No need to shake it down. We can make it straight in the glass. For this cocktail, I'm going to be using the raspberries, a lime and ginger beer and my amaretto. So I'm going to take 5 raspberries, decent sized raspberries. Look at the size difference there. Look at them. We've got big ones and little ones. So I will use 5 regardless of the size. There we go. 5 raspberries. I am actually going to add just a tiny bit of sugar syrup again to this. Just 10 ml. And that will help break down the raspberries. I'm just going to take my muddler and I'm just going to kind of puree those raspberries down, make a nice sort of raspberry jam out of them. Now what I'm going to do, I've got a lime that I've cut in half. So I'm just going to do the juice of half a lime, just squeeze that in there. Then I'm going to go for my amaretto. And for this, again, I'm going to do 50 ml, a double bubble of amaretto. Then I'm just going to simply add a little bit of ice. I can't find my ice scoop, that's why I'm using my hands. I'm really sorry. 1, 2, 3. Just a little bit of ice there, and then we are going to top up with ginger beer. We're not going to fill it all the way for the moment because we need a little bit of room to stir. So about 3/4, 2/3, 3/4 fill with ginger beer. Take a long bar spoon or whatever you've got at home. Long bar spoon, give it a stir, combine the raspberries, the lime juice and the sugar. And we're just going to top up with another couple of cubes of ice and then just top up with another bit of ginger beer. And then garnish-wise, I'll make it look pretty for the thumbnail. You could do a raspberry kebab. I've got the mint that's coming out in cocktail number 3. You could do a sprig of mint. You've got the spent lime that you could kind of sit on top. So we'll make it look pretty for the thumbnail. And obviously, if you don't like bits, if you're one of these people that don't like bits, then just make it in a cocktail shaker and then you don't have to shake it, but make it in something else and then just strain it so you haven't got the raspberry bits there. But taste-wise, that is fantastic. There is something about amaretto and raspberry and ginger. I absolutely love it. It's been a go-to kind of cocktail menu recipe for years and years and years. Super delicious. I guarantee you won't be disappointed with that. Now for cocktail number 3, this worked so well in the last video that I think it might kind of stay a constant for a few videos. I'm going to do like a punch bowl recipe, so like an amaretto tropical punch. And that's the kind of punch bowl that I made. If you've got bigger, so this one, you know, I'm just going to do enough for one in here. But if you've got bigger fish bowls, if you've got punch bowls and stuff like that, then just times the recipe by maybe 4, maybe 8, depending on the size of your vessel. So these are perfect because there's no need to shake them. Ingredients I'm going to use for this, you could use basically everything I've got here, but I'm going to use the amaretto. This is where the passion fruit is going to come out into play. I'm going to use the pulp of the passion fruit. I'm going to use a little bit of honey syrup, some mint, and I'm also going to use the sparkling mango as the sort of to top up. And actually not forgetting a lemon as well. Half a lemon I'm going to add there for a little bit of a citrus kick. So speaking of lemon, we might as well do that first. I am going to use the juice of half a lemon, which we know will be roughly about 25 ml. So squeeze all that in. Then to that, I'm going to add some honey syrup As I've mentioned many times before in these videos, it's just normal honey, a 2-to-1 ratio with hot water essentially, just to kind of make it looser. So we've got even more runny honey. So 2 parts honey, 1 part water, and that'll give you a honey syrup. I'm just going 10 ml. I'm then going for a 50 ml double bubble of my Amaretto, so 50 ml of that. Now it's time for your passion fruit, and this will just depend how ripe the passion fruit is and how much. This one's not too bad, so we can get it out. I'm just going to use, scoop out like half a passion fruit, the pulp there, and put the seeds in there. That will be, looking at this one will be absolutely fine. If you want to do another half or a whole passion fruit in there, be my guest, but the half one should be absolutely spot on. Now we want some mint. I just think the mint is going to work exceptionally well with passion fruit and mango, so I'm just going to pick off, like I would do mojito, 8 to 10 mint leaves. Decent sized mint leaves, we'll keep those 2 for a garnish. There we go, so pop that to one side. 8 to 10 mint leaves, put them in your hand, give them a spank. That'll await the aroma, and then we're just gonna pop them in. I'm then gonna top my punch bowl up with a bit of ice, and then we are just gonna top up with this delicious, I love this stuff, mango soda essentially. It's a sweetened one, so when we say soda, we don't think, in the UK, we don't think kind of bone dry. This one is kind of a sweeter one in like. So just kind of top up with mango soda. Combine all those ingredients with a spoon, give it a good stir up. Make sure the passion fruit is stirred in, make sure the mint comes through. Oh my word. I'm just gonna top that up with a bit more ice. And then garnish, we've got plenty to garnish this with. We've got this sort of spent husk of the passion fruit. We've got some mint sprigs here. We've got some, you could do lime, you could do wedges of lime in there, like a traditional punch bowl, bits of fruit. What does this taste like? I'm looking forward to this. Oh wow, that is so good. I've had 2 or 3 pulls of that. The almond notes come through. The passion fruit goes in there with the mango. You get that hint of mint that comes up behind. A slight sort of hint of honey. That is really fun and delicious. That is a great little punch bowl recipe for you. So there we go, guys. There's 3 awesome Amaretto cocktails that you can make there, well under £20. That'll keep your next party happy. If you've got any other recipes that you would kind of that you would make with an Amaretto, especially with those ingredients, what else have you thought of with those ingredients? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want another £25 haul video, there's one right there for you.